Goals and habits don't work. Let me explain and share with you how momentum saved my life. In the past, I've struggled with depression, procrastination, and lethargy. I've read the books, I've watched the YouTube videos, specifically those motivation videos that tell you to shut up, don't quit. But even watching all those motivational videos eventually just led me to wanting to sit at home more and be more a hermit. And the whole idea of going out for a run, going to the gym and hitting it hard was a really big step for me. So I had to find what worked for me. It wasn't until I read this book called The Power of Habit, Trying to Create Habits, that I decided to shift something. Although the book did not help me specifically with habits, I tried, that wasn't what helped. The book instead gave me an idea, and I decided to test that idea through fitness first. And it was this: to not have a goal.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
For the rest of my life, I decided I am going to be fit. I'm going to do some kind of fitness routine. And I know that that's going to change with time and age. And this light bulb moment came to me, and this is when I decided to try something completely different. I just needed to figure out how to start. So I took a tip from the micro habit, things that people have talked about on the internet after reading the book. Did a lot of research around building habits, and there's tons of YouTube videos out there, which is why I haven't made one of all these people who create their morning routines, night routines, things like that. So I decided to take a little bit of that, as well as something I just didn't have a name for it yet. So before I used to go to bed, I would wear my gym shorts to bed and keep my shirt on the side table on the floor. In the beginning of this deep depression, I started to just put on my shirt in the morning and just walk outside and just stand there and just enjoy the sun. The gym that I had joined with a bunch of friends was only 30 minutes away commute, but that was a lot at the time. Eventually, through a few days of standing outside, I eventually started to take little walks. And luckily I lived next to a boardwalk and a beach, so I would walk. Actually, that simple walk led me to walking to the train station and heading to the gym. And in the beginning, I really only knew a few workouts from what I've learned in high school, but I would just walk on the treadmill and observe what people were doing, observe what they were doing on the machines, especially the really fit guys. Anyway, you get where this is going. I stopped chasing a goal, which was get shredded, or building a habit, just go to the gym and make that a habit. And I focused solely on gaining momentum and keeping the momentum to help continue my fitness lifestyle. Since I am going to do this for the rest of my life, I need to play this momentum game. One that I continue to do to this day, even when I didn't have a gym. Thank you, COVID. So I want to share with you some of my own learnings and how I utilize momentum in this day, even to create videos like this. Momentum stems from physics. At least that's the idea when I Google it. I never took a physics class, so I don't know all the details. I have to watch a few YouTube videos to get a basic sense, a foundational sense of what momentum is in our 3D reality. Basically, it involves the mass, which is how heavy something is, and the velocity of that something. And if you throw it, depending on your strength, first of all, your mass, and the mass of the object, your throw strength depends on the velocity. There's a whole mathematical equation and everything for this. But simply put, the more mass the object has, the less velocity it'll have. It's like this right here. I take a ball, I make copper chase it. The ball is light, so not a lot of mass. So it has a lot of velocity. I can throw it really high, I can throw it really fast and hard, versus if I take a 24 kilogram kettlebell and toss it, it's not gonna go very far. Now I like to put this in your day-to-day, not physical objects. Consider mass your energy output. Energy can come from a variety of sources. How much and how good was your sleep? What have you eaten that day? What kind of foods have you eaten? What kind of nutrition is available? And really, that means what kind of food you're putting down your face. How much sun you're getting on your skin. And what are your relationships like? Are your relationships uplifting, or are they dreadful and full of people who complain, including yourself? So your mass can come from all these human activities holistically. So the lighter you are means the better sleep you get, the more nutrition you get, the more sun, movement in your day-to-day. It leads you to being feeling lighter, and in feeling lighter, you're able to make better decisions and you're able to have more willpower in your day-to-day. Versus if these factors are not up to par and you're not doing that well, you're getting 3-4 hours of sleep a night, you're eating McDonald's and garbage food every single day, and your emotions are all out of whack, everything sucks, life sucks, the world sucks, you're heavy, you're like an anvil, and people can feel that. When you become very slow, dull, your thoughts don't come as fast, your ideas are just not there. You just want to veg out on a couch similar to how I was back in the day. If you listen to a lot of successful people, they have a very similar trajectory. They didn't give up when shit got hard. They made sure that their foundations were there, and they kept going. They utilized the power of momentum. And through that momentum, they were able to use time and momentum to make sure that their hard work paid off. And something to always consider when using momentum, as these successful people have done, and unsuccessful people as well, is that momentum works in both ways. Either you're doing the things necessary to help you towards that upward trajectory, or you're digging yourself in a deeper and deeper pit and continuing to allow momentum to kind of beat you to a pulp, and you're on this downward spiral. And it's up to us to stop digging, utilize that shovel, climb ourselves out, build a ladder with the tools that we may have. Really, momentum starts when you stop and realize. It starts with self-realization and understanding that this is a tool to help you realize what part of the momentum trajectory am I on. I like to use the example of Netflix. I was watching Netflix the other night and I was intrigued at the show that I was watching, The Night Agent. I was thinking about this idea of momentum and creating a video, and I realized how Netflix does it so simply, and it's not on your radar at all. When the episode ends and the credits start to roll, a pop-up comes up that shows that the next episode is going to begin in about 5 seconds. And if you don't hit anything or do anything, the next episode starts right away. And we have memes about Netflix and doing all the binging and all these things. But Netflix has done something very, very diabolical. You can't stop because they've taken over your own momentum willpower to the point that you no longer have control. It really takes a person who's self-realized, who understands, who can think what is going on here instead of allowing someone else to take over. And some people do want to, hey, well, I'd be curious to hear, like, maybe you just don't want to live a life where every thought and decision has to be made. Like, should I continue watching the Netflix show right now, or should I be smart and save the episode for tomorrow and get ready for the next day, get ample sleep and those things? Because at the end of the day, momentum exists in everything. Whatever you're doing every single day, every moment is feeding the momentum spiral. So pay attention. Be cautious of what you're doing and what momentum spiral you're feeding. Is it up or down? There's no stagnancy. If you feel stagnant, you're probably on a downward trajectory, or that feeling of being stuck. And when those times come, it's part of the down moment. It's a good time to look at your current life and what you're doing to make sure that you put yourself on an upward trajectory. What are some actions you can take today to fuel that upward trajectory?